Maria was an old woman. She lived alone now. Her house was small and neat. It sat on a quiet, leafy street. She'd lived there for many long years. Her dear husband, Joseph, was gone. She missed his warm smile every day. The deep silence was often her only companion. Her house was usually quite dim. She preferred the soft, gentle light. Old lace curtains covered the windows. They kept the harsh, bright sun out. This soft light was gentle on her aging eyes. Memories seemed to live in the quiet shadows. They were good memories, mostly happy ones. She cherished them quietly in her heart. Pictures sat on the old mantelpiece. Joseph smiled kindly in everyone. Their children too, when they were young and full of laughter. Now her children were grown up. They lived in cities far away from her. Maria looked at these photographs often. They were her most precious treasures. They reminded her of brighter, sunnier days. Loneliness was a quiet, uninvited guest. It often sat with her in the long evenings. She would try to keep busy. She would knit warm scarves or read old books. The steady tick-tock of the tall grandfather clock was loud. It carefully marked the slow passing of time. Each tick was a small moment gone forever. She truly longed for a friendly voice sometimes. One evening, the sky began to change. It turned a dark, heavy grey. Big clouds gathered like angry giants overhead. The wind started to whisper through the trees. Then it started to shout its arrival. A very big storm was coming, she knew. Maria watched nervously from her window. She always felt a little afraid of storms. Rain began to fall from the dark sky. It was soft and gentle at first. Then it quickly grew much harder and stronger. It pounded heavily on the roof of her house, like 1,000 tiny, urgent drums beating. The wind howled outside like a hungry wolf. It shook the old window panes in their frames. Maria pulled her warm shawl tighter around her. Suddenly there was a very loud clap of thunder. It was so close it shook the whole little house. And then just like that, darkness. The lights went out, all of them. The old refrigerator in the kitchen stopped humming. The little nightlight in the hall vanished. A deep silence fell, heavy and complete. Only the raging storm made any noise now. Maria sat very still in her old armchair. The sudden darkness was incredibly deep. It felt cold and very unfamiliar. She could not even see her own hands. A sharp fear pricked at her old heart. It was a fear she knew too well. The fear of being all alone in the dark. She wished her dear Joseph was there then. Maria remembered something important then. A candle. She had one single candle left. It was kept safely in the kitchen drawer. She had saved it for a special time, or for a difficult time like this one. She truly hoped she could find it now. In this thick, disorienting darkness everywhere. Her first steps were slow and very careful. She moved very carefully through the rooms. Her outstretched hands gently touched the walls, guiding her through the dark, familiar spaces, towards the kitchen at the back of the house. She finally reached the correct drawer. Her fingers searched inside, feeling around. Yes, there it was, a long, white candle. She also found an old box of matches. Her old hands trembled just a little bit. It was hard to see what she was doing, but she managed to strike a match. A tiny, welcome spark appeared for a moment. Then a small, flickering flame burst to life. She carefully touched the match to the wick. The candle caught fire almost at once. A soft yellow light pushed back the darkness. Maria slowly carried the lit candle. She took it to a living room. She sat down carefully in her old chair. The single flame danced and swayed gently. It made long, moving shadows on the walls. She closed her tired eyes for a moment. She began to pray a quiet prayer, a simple, heartfelt prayer for light and help. Then, in the midst of the storm, she heard it, a knock, a clear knock on her front door. Who could possibly be out there now in such a terrible and wild storm at this late hour of the night? She was very surprised and a little scared. She held her precious candle up high. She walked slowly to the front door. She opened the heavy door just a tiny crack, and there he was. It was young David, her kind neighbor from across the street. He was soaking wet from the pouring rain, but he smiled a warm, kind smile at her. In his strong hands he held something big. It looked like some sort of machine. "Good evening, Mrs. Maria," he said kindly. His young voice was a comfort to hear. "The power is out all over, I think. I have a small generator here for you. I thought you might really need it." He said he just felt a sudden urge, a strong feeling he should check on her. He didn't know why, he just had to come. David quickly set up the small generator. Soon a lamp glowed in her living room. It was warm and steady and bright. The oppressive darkness was completely gone. Maria looked at young David with thankful eyes. She saw his kind heart in his actions. His gentle, selfless help meant so much it felt like an answer. God, she thought, sends angels. Sometimes they are good neighbors with caring hearts.